Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chip Over the Top Rugby podcast. My name is Ryan, the host. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Let's get into it, shall we? Wales fall to their lowest ranking in a very long time. They are now ranked 11th behind Fiji, which is unprecedented, right? 8 defeats in the last 8 games. Haven't won a game since last year. My immediate reaction is, based on where we were at going into the Six Nations, why did we think doing a summer tour of Australia and playing South Africa, the world champions, prior to that was a good idea? Why couldn't we have done what Scotland has done, played Canada, absolutely smashed them, about to play the USA this week and absolutely going to smash them as well, considering USA lost to Romania. Then I'm pretty sure Scotland are playing Uruguay and maybe Romania or someone else. I don't know. But why didn't Wales do that? That's my immediate thought, right? Given the scenario of where we're at, because let's be real here. We didn't win a game in the Six Nations. A plethora of players retired. We've already discussed this, but I just want to sort of regroup and recap. Lots of players retired. The teams in the regions aren't that successful in the URC or in European rugby. Yes, you could argue and say that the Ospreys were made the playoffs for the first time in 7 years, a first Welsh team to do so, but immediately lost in the first round of the playoffs, right? And so I'm just thinking, based on this result, Wales lose 25-16 to Australia. At halftime, 13-10. What on earth do Wales need to do moving forward to ensure that we beat Australia in Melbourne to salvage this tour, right? Because if we lose again, well, I don't know what happens, right? We're playing the Queensland Reds a week after, just as it was supposed to be like a throwaway match, that one. Maybe to test the waters with new combinations, new players, because at this point in time, it is quite clear and obvious that Warren Gatland and the Welsh coaches still do not know their starting 15 and who are the best replacements to bring on. And I understand it is what it is, right? We are in this scenario and we have to deal with it. So what can we do? Well, first and foremost, let's just reflect and review the game itself before we look forward to Wales v Australia in Melbourne coming up this weekend, right? So let me just remind you of the squad. It was Gareth Thomas, Dewi Lake, Archie Griffin. By the way, was born in Australia. Did not know that, so that was pretty cool that he got to, play and get his first start for Wales in Australia, where he was born. Chunza, Dav Jenkins, Tame Plumtree, Tommy Raffel, Owen Wainwright. 9 was Ellis Bevan, 10 Ben Thomas, 11 Rio Dyer, Mason Grady at 12, Owen Watkins 13, Josh Hathaway at 14, making his first cap, and Liam Williams at 15. The replacements: Evan Lloyd, Kemsley Matthias, Harry O'Connor, Corey Hill, James Botham, Kieran Hardy, Sam Costello, and Nick Tompkins. Now, I just want to run through sort of the team and give my general consensus here. I don't think, but here's the thing, right? You've got to look at the regions, and I keep saying this, and I'm not entirely sure why this hasn't been just a general thing in general, right? So you look at the regions and you look at who starts in what position, and clearly, if there aren't first choice players starting at their region, but they're the first choice for Wales, there is something wrong. What do I mean by that? Okay, Gareth Thomas, not the first choice prop at the Ospreys, he might be going forward because obviously Nicky Smith is gone. Dewi Lake is. Archie Griffin is not. Tunza is, but not as a second row, although he has paired with Dav Jenkins in the second row position. Obviously Jenkins is, Plumtree is, Rafael is, and Wainwright is, right? So the bulk of the forwards are all starters, bar 2. And those are our props. So you take a look at the scrum and you look at how dominant Australia was in comparison, right? Obviously Slipper and Tupou, absolute monsters. Slipper has over 135 caps. Tupou is just a brick shithouse, right? And he put the scrum under huge pressure. But what do you expect? You're going up against not necessarily inexperienced international props, but in Archie Griffin, yes. So the front row combined had less. I think the front, almost the entire pack of Wales had less caps than Slipper. I'm not entirely sure on the math on that, but that is what it appears to be based on looking at this, right? Ellis Bevan is going to be the starting 9 going forward in Cardiff. Ben Thomas is arguably the second choice 10 at Cardiff, right? Possibly first choice 12 moving forward. And he started for the first time at 10 this weekend for Wales. Rio Dyer is obviously the starting winger at the Dragons. Mason Grady is a starter, but he's not a 12. And I think this needs to be done kaboot, because he is much better in open spaces. As we know, we've seen him on the wing for Cardiff, and we've seen him in the outside centre channel. He needs space. He is not a good distributor of the ball. He is a quintessential outside centre or winger. Owen Watkin is sometimes starter for the Ospreys moving forward. He probably will be, considering that North is gone now. Josh Hathaway, sometimes a starter for Gloucester, but when he is, he's impeccable on form. And obviously Liam Williams as well. And then we look down, Evan Lloyd is not a starter for Cardiff. Liam Belcher is. Matthias O'Connor, yeah, okay, sometimes. Corey Hill, he shouldn't even be in the squad in my opinion, but that's just me. Botham, obviously a starter. Kieran Hardy is going to be the starter moving forward. You could probably say that for certain. And then obviously Sam is the starter of the Scarlets at 10, but obviously there was a period of time where it was Yohan Lloyd, and we just need to figure that out. And then obviously Tompkins for Saracens starts most of the time. So it's just a case of like, okay, we have these positions, but they're not in their preferred positions. And there's that disconnect, the lack of communication between the regions. And I've said this countless times, and I just don't understand why it's not carried through, because I feel like it's in the best interest for Wales and the regions if they have these positions. It's talked about, and they are put there and they are played there. And it's difficult because obviously I understand the regions want to win, but you need top performing regional players who could be international standard, international worthy players moving forward. So obviously Wales lose 25-16. What happened, right? Again, I've mentioned it. Scrum, couldn't get on the front foot. Plenty of scrum penalties. The line out was disrupted so many times. There was too much front ball options, not enough sort of, and like it was easy to read. I was just reading a statistic, like it was Wales scored, have a lot of scores, a lot of tries from their lineouts front ball, but if that's all you're throwing is front and second ball, that's an easy read. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna go in front, so that's an easy defensive lineout for Australia. And they disrupted it so many times. Ben Thomas, safe from the boot, managed to keep us in that game, right? If it wasn't for him and it wasn't for the penalty try, who knows what the scoreline would be. Obviously, there was that disallowed try, But again, the letter of the law, Dewi Lake did come in and got in front of the ball carrier. It is what it is. But I don't want to put anything past Australia, because I think in this game, it wasn't clear who was the favourites going in, right? Obviously, Wales, on the back of losing 7 games on a bounce, lost to South Africa in the previous week or two. Didn't win a game in the Six Nations. In a rebuilding phase. Australia, new coach. This team has only been together a couple of weeks, right? And they're building towards the Rugby Championship. So you're thinking, who's favourite here, right? This is a good... I think both teams are in a similar position. But it looks like Australia had the more attacking prowess. They kind of knew what they wanted to do with the ball in hand. Wales, again, it's one-up runners. And we only have a couple one-up runners. Dewi Lake and Wainwright are the only ones who are getting over the gain line when they get the ball. Grady does on occasion, but not enough at 12. He needs more space. Wales have some big physical dudes, right? But they're not able to get over the gain line. We need to see more. We need to see more ball carriers. We need to have more options, because if Dewi Lake and Wainwright get the ball, Australia know that they're the ones that are going to take it up. That's an easy defensive read. We need options. We need multiple people who can take it up, get over the gain line, get quick ball, spread it wide, do something, like create options. There was none of that in this game. On the other hand, Australia looked dangerous with the ball in hand. Where do Wales go from here? Excuse me. I honestly don't know. I think there are some combinations in this that I really liked. So for me, I think I've just seen actually on the news that they're gonna push the announcement of the squad back because of potential injuries, from what I can see. So let's just look at the potential injuries real quick. I have this on my laptop here. So who is it? It's Liam Williams, Wainwright. That would be a big loss if Wainwright is unavailable. Gareth Thomas and Josh Hathaway all picked up knocks in Sydney on Saturday, with the first 3 accounting for more than half of Wales' caps in the first test. That alone right there says it all. Liam Williams, Aaron Wainwright and Gareth Thomas counting for more than half of the Welsh caps in the first test. That is wild. I woke up early to watch this game. I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. I was at the beach, got Flo Rugby, and I was excited for this game. But it was pretty boring to watch in terms of just the attack from Wales. It was the same as what it was. It was a couple phases, kick, and hope that we can get the ball back from a mistake from the opposition or from just a good kick chase. Now, I will say this. I enjoy having Ellis Bevan in the squad because of the left foot option. And that 50-22 that he made was pretty impeccable, right? But who would you keep in this squad? Let me know your thoughts below, because I think now, if this was me, this is the squad that I would pick going forward, because I feel like there needs to be some consistency, but there needs to be some sort of free-flowing, not so structured game plan, right? If it was me, I would keep from 2 to 10, the exact same, right? So I would do Dewi Lake, Archie Griffin, Chungza, Jenkins, Plumtree, Rafael, and Wainwright. But obviously, if Wainwright's injured, I would throw in Mackenzie Martin at 8, right? Because he's a big physical lad. And if we're going to throw everything at this game, we may as well at this point let the kids play. Let them play. And then I would bring in Corey Domachowski at 1. I do think Corey Domachowski is a strong scrummager. And with, he's arguably first choice at Cardiff. You could say Rhys Carey, but like Domachowski's my boy at the end of the day. So yeah, I would do that. Let Ellis Bevan, let Ben Thomas have another crack at it, right? And you could keep Costello and Hardy on the bench. I think what let them down was having Tompkins come on, because I personally still think that you need a utility back on the bench, someone who can play on the wing, someone who can play centre, someone who can play fullback. So, a Beetham would be a perfect example. But it's difficult. So that's what I would do. And then what would I do with Dyer? I think Dyer had a quiet game. We know what he's capable of in a Welsh jersey, but the game plan was, not in his favour. You know what I would do with 12 and 13? I would switch them, but I would take Watkins out and I would bring in someone, maybe have Tompkins play at 12. That was the team that I thought would be it, Have Tompkins at 12, Grady outside him for a bit of pace. But maybe we see a Ben Thomas move to 12 to add that sort of second phase, second receiver, ball carrying option. The playmaker role is what he does at Cardiff. If Hathaway isn't injured, I think he deserves another shot. And then, we throw in Grace against the Reds. And then, of course, Liam Williams' class act. Again, it's nice to have that sort of level head at the back. Someone who's been there, done it, very experienced at international level and a quality player. But I think you let Cam Winnett have a pop. He's safe under the high ball. He's good in attack. We've seen it. So, yeah. Let me know your thoughts below. Like, I mean, it just is what it is. I'm not entirely sure what the game plan is. I don't know if Wales or Warren Gatland or the coaches know their best team yet, but that is the team that I would pick going forward. I really think that we need to build upon this because, despite the few errors and the end try, where Hathaway kicked it away into midfield rather than, putting it down in the channel, the 5 channel. The game was in grasp. It was close. Obviously, the disallowed try, it was close. So I think we stick with what it is. Change the few out. Obviously, if Wainwright's injured, bring in Mackenzie Martin. I don't want to see Corey Hill near that 23. I don't think he deserves it. That's just my opinion. I think Grady needs to play at 13. And I think the rest is self-explanatory. But yeah, I was disappointed in obviously the outcome because I looked at how England played against New Zealand and I looked at how Ireland and South Africa play. It's physical. They want it. Wales they just don't look like they want it at this moment in time. They look like they're unsure of what they're doing. It's like almost like, okay, we didn't break through the game line after 3 phases. Let's kick. Let's hope Australia knock it on. Let's hope Rio Dyer or Hathaway can get there and knock it back in time. Yeah, so Thursday, in 2 days' time, that you're watching this, the squad will be announced. I'm possibly going to the USA-Scotland game on Friday in DC, which I'll be looking forward to if I do go to that. And then obviously up early to watch the game on Saturday. This time I won't be at the beach, so it won't be so bad getting up and whatnot. But there we go. Anyway, that is all from me, folks. Diolch and fawr, thank you very much. Again, if you made it this far, I do appreciate it. Thumbs up. All that good stuff. Yeah, tough week for Wales. Dropping to 11th. Yeah, 8 defeats from 8. It is what it is, though. It's where we're at. And we need to come to terms with that sooner rather than later. Peace.